Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, has been forced to come out into the public space to declare some of the details of his activities before Nnamdi Kanu declares him Abdul al-Sudani, the brother of Jubril al-Sudani. So the guy is now coming out to say, look, don't take me down that road, as guys I bring you this. Osinbajo gives breakdown of his activities since April amidst questions on his whereabouts. So as I said before, he is declared Abdul al-Sudani by Nnamdi Kanu. He's now having to explain himself. Osinbajo gives details of his activities since April amid questions of his whereabouts. So now let's now see what the guy has been doing. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on Sunday gave a breakdown of his activities from April till date. Osinbajo disclosed that he had been chairing meetings and activities aimed at boosting Nigeria's economy amidst the C-19 pandemic. He gave the insight in a bid to further douse tension over his whereabouts in the wake of C-19 in Nigeria. Recall that Laolu Akande, his spokesman, had yesterday disclosed that the vice president had been attending to official matters on how to improve Nigeria's economy. In a follow-up chat with a newspaper by Osinbajo's spokesperson, Akande Laolu, he insisted that the vice president had been chairing several Economic Council committee meetings in the past 1 month. According to the chat, April 1, Osinbajo chaired the Economic Council Special Committee on C-19. April 2, inaugurated the Economic Stability Committee. April 8, presided over the second Economic Stability Committee meeting. April 10, updated President Buhari on the progress of the Economic Stability Committee. April 16, chaired third Economic Stability Committee meeting. April 21, met with IMF and World Bank representatives regarding federal government's post-C-19 economic stimulus. April 21, held teleconference meeting with the U.S. ambassador in Nigeria, the deputy ambassador, and representatives of the U.S. Center for Disease Control. April 22, held a video conference meeting with 9 governors across the 6 geopolitical zones regarding coordinated plans of the FG and state government on C-19. April 23rd, chaired the 4th Economic Stability Committee meeting. April 23rd again, chaired the 4th Economic Stability Committee meeting. April 29, featured in a virtual conference themed, "This Isn't the West, How Africa's Informal Sector Reacts to C-19. April 30th, chaired the 5th Economic Stability Committee meeting with members of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, co-chaired by Professor Doyin Salami. May the 2nd, participated in a virtual conference with Pastor Oyemade at the 2020 edition of the platform Nigeria. May 7, chaired the meeting of the Presidential Power Sector Reform Work Group. So now this is now this guy yet again, Laolu Akande, coming out to detail the activities of Yemi Osinbajo. But of course, this would not satisfy anybody, because what people are really requesting for is for the vice president, at least, because we already know that Malam Buhari is physically and mentally incapable of appearing on a live television program because of his dementia and his frail health and his lack of grasp of the English language. So we've already abandoned any idea of Malam Buhari ever appearing on a live television broadcast, never mind then going on to take a question and answer session. So we've abandoned that. So this now guy that purports to be the vice president and goes under the tag of being a law professor should surely be erudite enough to field questions, because what is the job of a lawyer other than questions and answers and appearing in public? So this now guy, if he's now a law professor, as we know him to be, he surely then should be able to stand in front of the cameras and respond to the questions that Nigerians have been asking since the outbreak of this global situation that we find ourselves in. So now this now idea of his spokesperson coming out in the public space to give an account of how this guy has been running his day-to-day is not enough to satiate the questionings and the probings and the concerns and the suspicions that is going in the direction of these people, because we cannot have it be the case that none of the topmost citizens, at least according to what we have been presented by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, because of course Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has now told us that Malam Buhari is the president, and Yemi Osinbajo or Osinbajo is not Osinbajo, because there's no N after the J, after the B-A and then J-O, so it's Osinbajo. People always tend to mispronounce that guy's name, so it's Osinbajo. So Yemi Osinbajo. So we've now been presented with these two characters by Yakubu as the president and the vice. So now that the country is in crisis, then surely then these people that have been presented to us as our lead citizens should lead from the front. But then they will tell you that yes, it is sitting in the office. I saw one interview by Femi Adesina telling us that there's something called stylistics, which we did in school, which tells you about somebody's style, and it is not the style of Buhari to respond to Nigerians or to speak to them, because Nigerians are beneath him. Do you think you can order him around? He's the president, is your Lord and Master. So, okay, if Buhari is our Lord and Master, is Osinbajo our Lord and Master too? Is really the question. So now this guy coming with all these details, which is unimpressive, by the way, because you expect the guy to be a lot busier than this, chairing economic council special committees and whatnot. This doesn't sound like anything to me, because these things that this guy is listing should just be one slot in a very long day that this guy is having. So I don't know how long that economic committee team sits for, but I don't imagine that they're sitting for more than 2 hours, because no meeting should transcend 2 hours, because then of course all the participants would have started to fade out mentally. So they're prepared for the meeting, and then they hit the high points and make the points that they want to make. The points are interrogated, and then the meeting is adjourned to then come back with what has been discussed and the solutions to them. So this is how these meetings take place. So then telling us that it's having one meeting a day, and then it's strolling around dancing stick and pop or whatever it is that it does, that is not enough to satiate the questionings. And it is not enough also until we're able to see this guy live and direct, as they say on the streets of Lagos, addressing the issues that matters to Nigerians. So now, this is now what we've been presented with, but does it satisfy you, is where my question is. Come tell me if you are satiated by this or not in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me if you're still insisting on that question, where is Malam Buhari and his deputy? Because this is now the question that is reverberating round the four quarters of the Nigerian firmament, that look, okay, whatever it is and however it is, where are these two people? This is really what Nigerians are asking, and you tell me then if you are satisfied with this press release by a spokesperson. So come join me in the comment section. Let's have a conversation around all that. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.